Dominant right-handed lineup. Those 3 pitches.
You know what I'd like to see him do a little better? I had a chance to watch a handful of his pace up a little bit. I feel at times he falls in love with that changeup, but his fastball is good enough. I think he needs to use it more.
There's a line drive on the fastball. I feel like is that the Yankees at 63 and 28 have sort of put everybody else in their dust. So there's not been
the All-Star break. Think about this. All 5 teams in the AL East above 500.
It's amazing. Bubic lets it rip for out.
He has the wow factor. You're going to say, wow, at least once or twice a game. He has incredible skills. 17.
You're talking about diving plays, plays that are well beyond average.
Right.
Major leaguer, but man, can he hit.
Yeah, this is 265 pounds of dynamite. He reminds me a little bit of Kirby.
He's 4th in the American League in on-base percentage coming in, and he's ahead of Bubic 3-1. Watching Blue Jays BP, and man, he hits the ball everywhere. 3-2.
Yeah, he's pull holes, he says. I love pull holes from the right side. And I said, who's a catcher? And of course, Yadier Molina. Couple of sure.
Chet and the rest of those guys in that video, you just gain so much about the game as a young person.
In my life, Jason.
Really?
If it was 5 o'clock dressed on the field, 4:56 p.m. Dante would roll into the clubhouse. You know, some guys get their first one there, last one to leave.
Yeah.
Dante was the last one there, but he would.
And everybody's dressed and ready like 30, 40 minutes in advance. That is strike 3. I agree. I think the best in baseball right now, tell me if you have a different one, John Tun.
Such a long time and be able to still hit and be a productive player.
Yeah, it reminds me of the season he had last year, you know, 40.
I think Brian Nora holds a candle to Tom Halliott.
No, not as far as calls. No. You'll keep an eye on him.
But, you know, the American and National League before interleague play.
You got a man there.
This into center field, and Eaton will be there for out number 2.
In the bat, today's a getaway day. You better be hacking. And then he looked at me again and he goes, oh, I don't have to worry. You swing at everything anyway. You just raked me over the coals.
How about that?
I loved him.
This smoke to center field and down for the first hit for the Blue Jays today. Gurriel, who's been
in Philadelphia. Robbie Thompson's done a great job with the Phillies. Some of it is better play. Some of it a little bit easier.
John Schneider managed a lot of these guys in minor league baseball, and he's a guy that knows the ins and outs of
a lot of these guys through the minor league system, and it seems right now to be a perfect fit.
Into right center field. That's a base hit on 2-0 for Chapman. He stops at first. Danny Jansen smashes this ball to center. Eaton back at the track.
Not an easy atmosphere to jump right into, but they've come in and just been themselves with their personalities, but also in their style of play.
Thanks, Mike.
And as they talk about, would imagine help to know that you're not the only dude in there.
You know what? When you initially get called up to the big leagues, I think the biggest, you're not familiar very much with your teammates, and there's something about when you go to spring training in the minor leagues, you get a chance easier when you have 10 guys all coming together. They can kind of feed off of each other, talk to each other.
A manager comes with you. Scott Thorman, he came up. He lives real close. Watch this play here.
Over at third, Massey just wide of first base off the stretch from Prado. It's an infield.
He's from here. He lives less than 15 minutes from here. And so for him to come to the big leagues with
1-0 for Vlad Jr. And we'll see how Bubic reacts to an infield single.
You can see in bits and pieces, particularly when you're learning how to fly on a season that's kind of gone awry like this one has had, where it seems to impact arms through their system.
Slowly hit again on the ground toward third, and that is over the bag. It's a fair ball. Here's another guy in the history of baseball, Kirk, as he checked up the swing.
That's a term for a double play ball.
Is it put him in the lane?
Put him in the lane. That's right. Now Bubic.
After a long hold, he just missed outside with that change. On the ground to shortstop and past Bobby Witt Jr. That was 2 waiting to happen. 1 in, still 1 out. And Bo Bichette, who loves swinging at the first pitch, flies this to right, and O'Hearn. Guerrero Jr.
Longer in your career when you've gone through those ups and downs where your heartbreak, you get a ground ball. It looks like easy things like I joined the ground crew here in Toronto.
You are a beautiful butterfly, yeah. I would say.
Into a great story like he's going to tell us. We need a little time.
Yeah, you were right.
On cue.
Ground ball to third. Always listen to HUD. Came in a halfback at Tampa Bay for second in the AL East, as Kris Bubic is now 9 for 15 in first pitch strikes, and throughout
throwing a lot of pitches early. Can't keep him in the game long, but he's settled in. He's pitching to contact nicely, doing everything he can do. He can't
average increase, the slugging percentage as much as he would like based on the hard hit rate. But if you want to look for a guy who's
some stability at third base, really since Jose Bautista days, they were looking for that third. The Blue Jays are hoping that Matt Chapman will be at third base for a few seasons.
Well, he's hit the ball very hard in this series.
Yeah, but his offense looks good. There's no question about it as he takes Serpa deep. Love that defense. Last year, Chapman won his third Gold Glove last season, and he has 2 plaques.
Well, he and Matt Olson were brilliant together in Oakland as that ball is hammered to left field, and into the corner it goes, ringing off the wall. He's on his way to second. Olivares' throw is left. A long fly out to center in the second inning that was maybe 15 feet short of a home run. What is that in meters, Dan? You played up here twice.
It's funny because
that is amazing.
That's a pro move right there, isn't it?
The first time I ever went to Montreal was like 5 years ago. 2 strikes for Jansen.
So earlier you were asking me about Bubic. Bubic, whatever they need.
Yeah, but you'd like to have some confidence for him with a long start going in.
Family, you're going to hunt, you're going to go fishing.
Hit pretty well on the ground. Witt gets over there, spinning throw, he got in the third. Saw him shaking his head a little bit at himself after the first one, and nice to see.
The only thing I'll say is that he'll make up for it. He'll make another play like that, save a run. He'll knock in 2 or 3. I mean, career, and wouldn't you know, we were hopeful for good things for him this year, that he would be healthy, that he would be able to left and just really sad. So they moved Junior. He played third. They moved him to shortstop. There you go. And mixed around with Merrifield. What happens when Monty does get healthy again? They'll find a place for him. Such a good athlete, he can play anywhere.
Check swing, he went. Zimmer about Albert Pujols. In my understanding, he has a right-handed BP thrower. Crushed left-handed pitching this year. Get him a lefty.
Well, you would think he would figure that out.
You would think so.
Anything Albert asked.
On deck, and we saw him in 2019 in Cleveland. The show that Vlad Jr. and Pete Alonso put on in Cleveland for that epic battle with Pete Alonso.
Now he's a skipper.
A difficult time finding the strike zone. You start spraying the ball around a little bit, becomes frustrating because you take the rhythm and the mojo and the tempo away from a hitter. So it's very important that
late add to the home run derby, and his father was the thrower. As this to center field on a line, stays up for Eaton. One down for him, and he was throwing a pitch every second and a half, I feel like, as Guerrero hits this one sky high to left. Olivares is there to make the catch for us.
In a short period of time, when you watch him, his bat to ball skills, I talked about it earlier. He's a tremendous bad ball strike zone. The low strike is kind of gone by the wayside, but if you can't hit that ball belt high to chest high,
to perceived velocity, they call it.
And because it's eye level to the hitter for him, they get out in front and get extended.
To shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. throws out Kirk.
Look at Monty. Well, Monty looks like that in real life.
Yeah, that was an actual file photo of Monty. Witt at shortstop, throws to first, and Ahmed.
Watch perhaps a walk-off winner if you were in this room yesterday, or whatever happens today. So we just want to show you this.
Some setup for something else. But no, Ahmed, what's the view like?
So the view is exactly what you're seeing here.
First time here at the, it used to be the Sky Home Hotel, but the Marriott Hotel. It's really good.
I mean, it's like, talk about one of a kind. Crew would come in here with a camera, a monitor, a researcher, a producer, and a reporter.
No clue.
So next time,
Researcher too.
Kirk, the researcher, is in here making sure nothing crazy happens. We've got the monitor, we've got camera, we've got Ellie.
Listen, I had a great time here, Rex, in Toronto. This is a wonderful place to play. And interesting, I was traded here in a big Brewers who were in the AL East. And the whole customs, the money changing thing, I really wasn't a big fan of it. When I came in conversation with my mom, I think she was tired of hearing me complain. Said you can make a good place a bad place and a bad place a good place. I took 200 feet away that foot might have gotten in before the tag.
I thought it was worth the challenge. 2 strikes in Rivero. So not only do you lose the base runner there, Hud, but 0-2 slug to center field. Eaton is there for out number 1. 7th inning, tied at 2. Toronto trying to win 3 of 4 against American League East in that bottleneck with the Rays and the Red Sox. And it looks like, Dan,
It's going to be a crazy second half of the season. There's a really good changeup from Bubic. You think it's out of the question? We see 4 teams from the East. I'm thinking 1 team possibly.
they never lose again.
It's incredible. This to me, this baseball season has been the story of teams that were back. You know, you sit probably you don't want to do that in the middle of May, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what does the playoff picture look like?
Hud's a little salty, Dan.
I mean, that was if there was ever a round and in,
exactly,
you were out there hunting, chasing for a fastball.
My mom always used to say, son, you'd have a better chance with a.
It's funny how the circle of baseball goes.
0-2 here is outside, 1-2.
He became a coach. He was a hitting instructor when I was with the Milwaukee Brewers, and I got to see the lighter side.
To watch him.
1-2 in the air, right hand side. Hicklin is underneath.